All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 2 of At What Cost. I'm your host, TheSource, and joining me as always is Azaraki Dragon.
Hey everyone, how's it going? So, earlier this week, we actually, both Brad and I queued up for a game at the exact same time, and we actually didn't know about it. And we didn't coordinate it at all, but we ended up on opposite teams. And I threw a hammer at his face repeatedly, and I won that game, so I am definitively better now than he is. So we answered that question once and for all.
That is not completely true. He did heavily focus me every chance he got, but my team also surrendered, and there was nothing I could do about that. All right, welcome, ladies. So they all completely and totally gave up, and I just had a bit of echo for a second.
I will give you this though. Even though I actually landed Reyna ults, your Reyna did no such thing.
Yeah, my Reyna
she
couldn't land an ult to save her life.
She was the kind of Reyna who said, "Hey look, Forrest dashed in, ult," only to find that he had dashed back by the time the ulti actually landed. So, yeah, he was playing with that kind of Reyna, where I was the awesome Reyna and won, so it's not Braun's fault that he lost.
Indeed.
But I still won.
Was not my fault that I lost. Either way, we are here and we are ready to get rolling with episode 2. I'm trying to double check. I just want to make sure everything is running perfectly smooth. Looks like
you guys
it.
Can hear both of us, right? Especially him this time.
Yeah, now is a really good time to tell us if there are any tech issues. We tried our best to fix all of them ahead of time. We did everything we could to clean up any minor tech problems we had run into last time, because there were, some sound issues and whatnot, but I think we should be good to go. Not seeing any immediate outrage in the chat.
That's always good. And by the way, if there's anything you guys want to ask us throughout the show, go ahead and post that in chat. We do read chat, and we will answer your question as soon as possible. Keep in mind that there's usually, a 20-second stream delay, so we won't see it instantly, but we will see it.
Let's see. That all looks good. All right, guys, so we'll get into episode 2. So like episode 1, we're going to step through an entire full game, and then we'll go into instance-specific scenarios, things you run into in solo queue. We have a bunch of fun new features that I've been working to implement, and you guys will get to look at those. As soon as those comes up, I hope people will enjoy them. So let's get into game number 1.
Yeah, just give me the countdown.
And I've swapped to our other overlay, and we should be good. Alright, so let's start in 3, 2, 1.
And already we're seeing that Rafoy, however you pronounce that, is going for the Tactician Viana pick. I don't really have anything else.
Yeah, you started turning that into a cast a little too quickly. So yeah, this was a group game. Me and Azaraki played in this one. And you can already see from the composition that we have a Gladiator Cerulean, which does happen from time to time. Basically what it means is he's going to be sort of a tanky bruiser, and what this allowed Azaraki to do is it let him play Kindra, something he doesn't get to play very often because we needed magic damage. We had a lack of magic damage on our entire team, and now I'll let him go off and start talking about how much he loves playing Kindra.
Yeah, I actually really love playing Kindra. She is a very surprise, in-your-face, now-you're-dead sort of jungler, because she has a lot of full-on burst damage. And I normally don't get to play that because people really just... I don't know what it is, but people just hate playing tanks for this specific free week. Maybe it's just because one of the only tanks that you can actually play on the free week rotation is Reyna, but it is specifically annoying that people have stopped playing tanks. Like, I get into a lot of solo queue games, and the tanks are just not there. Our tacticians go super utility tacticians instead, which kind of annoy me a little bit, but this allows me to go Kindra, and although I wouldn't mind having 2 tanks and Petrus, it's just a lot of fun to play Kindra. Back to you.
Yeah, so you see our overall team comp. We sort of have three. We have three tanking characters. We've got Cerulean, who will be sort of a bruiser tank. We've got Kagan, who's gonna more or less go full tank, and then we have Viana, who's sort of a blood tank. Granted, she is technically the blood priestess. There is a third type of tank. You do get blood tanks, people who build a lot of health, and make a lot of use off of what stats they get off of having health. There we go. That looks better. There was a little bit of edge clipping on the screen. Okay, that looks better. Yeah, so that's sort of what Viana is bringing to our table. She also gives us a suppress. So overall, our team has a fairly good bit of CC. We've got solid crowd control, a bit of burst, and really good sustain damage. We also have really good engagement. We've got the suppression out of Viana and the dive potential out of Cerulean, as well as Kagan can always land a hook. So that's sort of how our team comp rounds out. We actually have 4 people going health, and I was the only one who went anything otherwise. I went hunger, which does have its merit on Nissa. Nissa does so much more with basic attacks and has her own haste bonus that the +5 bonus they gave to power after Item Palooza makes it a slightly more viable option than it used to be.
You know, I never heard that term Item Palooza before, but that.
Oh yeah, that's what it used to be called. That's what it was called when they changed up all the items. It was called Item Palooza.
Cool. I liked Item Palooza. There were a lot of really good items that came into favor, as well as you said, Hunger is now a decent start because of that 5 power. Where if you start power, you get 10. Hunger's only half that, but you do still also get a lot of that sustain that you get on Hunger. Now, I think they also increased the cost of Hunger by 40 when they had that Item Palooza, so you get 1 less potion, which is kind of meh, but for the most part, you will be able to deal with it.
Oh, I clipped the bush. Oh, like a scrub, I clipped the bush. You guys see my squirrel running off into the corners because on just like the very edge of it, I didn't walk around the bush far enough, and I just clipped it with a bit, and my squirrel ran over there. So now there's a ward in a bush we don't need it in. Nonetheless, the lane matchup here is Nissa Kagan versus Mara Vex. So again, I've talked about how Vex actually has fairly good early poke with his E. You can do a good amount of damage with that, plus the extra magic damage. The hybrid damage makes it hard to itemize against. Mara, not as common of a pick. She's a little more difficult for people to play because she's all about landing her short range hook and getting off the CC. You see me get pushed out a lot there. That's sort of where Vex's damage is coming from.
Yeah, at level 2, Vex actually hits a really cool power spike because he'll have his slow AoE, which is his E, as well as his W, which empowers his auto attacks, giving them magic damage. And I believe that's % health magic damage. So that can actually be really good to win those early trades as soon as you hit level 2, and a lot of times people aren't really expecting that sort of damage. I also generally don't expect phone calls during shows, but you know, this might be a special case. But one thing you'll notice is that while I'm playing jungle
first
Kindra,
first blood down, and that was a perfect example of why you always take Tailwind at least one member, and here's an example of why you do not fight 2v1.
Yeah, he thought he could get the kill there, which, you know, I could see ways that he could get the kill, but honestly, with Kagan showing up as well, that was just a fight that he definitely didn't want to take, and that's really in line with what we focused on last week about overstaying and overcommitting, because Vex, by all rights, should have been out of there as soon as his Mara died. Or at the very least, as soon as you guys started attacking Mara, he should have moved to the other bush so that he would have an easier escape option, but could still put out the damage that he did.
Yeah, no, he stayed too long, and again, that wasn't a kill steal. Very rarely do you find kill steals in Dawngate, and it doesn't matter the same way it does in other MOBAs, because in other MOBAs, you don't get a bonus for being an AD carry. You don't get a bonus for farming, or a bonus for being in the jungle. You know, to some degree, some items give you a little bit more. You know, some of the other lizard and other golem items will give you more for killing big creeps. But in Dawngate, you have that extra versatility in your role. So the fact that he picked up that kill, that didn't hurt us at all. It was, you know, it was still gold got to our team. It wasn't on the carry, but it doesn't matter because I'm still gonna get tons and tons of gold off of farming.
And one thing that also helped me play jungle Kindra is that our lanes were pretty solid. We have our bot lane, which you see here, is Nisa and Tank. Really good combination because Tank can keep Nisa safe and she can put out a lot of damage on her own. So those synergize pretty well, and I'm not going to have to babysit them a lot in the early pre-6 levels. And top lane also had a Viana, which brings you so much to sustain that generally you're not going to be dying, and they did die up there recently, and that was due to a gank, and I'm going to kill this phone. This phone is very...
Feel free to go deal with that. I can hold on my own.
Yeah.
I'll be okay. I've solo casted for hours on end. So yeah, both of our lanes have fairly good CC, fairly good sustain. Because I went early consumption, I was able to heal up a lot. And he's right, Jungle Kindra needs a bit of farm. You don't really want to gank on Jungle Kindra because her burst at the beginning levels isn't that good. She doesn't have any CC, and she doesn't have that, that much extra sustain. She can't really heal herself up too much. She does have the one sustain on her W, or might be her Q. Yeah, it's her Q.
It's her Q.
She has to sustain off of her Q, but that's not, you don't want that as much in a fight. And here, I went to ward, and my support died, and I just told him I was getting out of there, because if I'd gone back up, I would have died. Like, there would have been no question, I would have been gone. Mara's just going to chase me a little bit far here. I don't know why she went that far for the kill, especially since Volek didn't appear to follow. She's going to go harass the Spirit Well and not get that much off of that. Early Spirit Well harass is good, but not when I'm still in the lane farming. She's better off coming to lane and trying to zone me out.
Yeah, and as you see right here, he's getting free farm, and he can also pressure Vex out of the lane, because Nisa actually has a lot of sort of hidden damage, because generally, if you can spam your Q a lot as Nisa, that's a lot of damage that people don't see coming. These are different people calling me, by the way.
Nice.
These are different people I'm just gonna like put the phone outside of the room and be done with that.
Either way, as you guys saw in that last bit of engagement, I actually ran up into the jungle because I knew Azaraki was close by. He told me he was coming. We had good ward coverage, so we pretty much knew where all of them were. Then we're going to see a little bit of an engagement down there. I'm still farming away, and now I decide to join up with the team, and it's too late. So that was me getting a little too much farm. I'm almost positive they sort of waved me off that. We're like, yeah, they're going to run away, and there wasn't really any point in sticking around.
Okay, so at least these are technical difficulties that are not impacting your actual stream experience. It's just me being slightly annoyed. So where were you? What did you just get done saying?
I was talking about making sure that you get good communication with your team. You guys called me in for the fight, but then waved me off and said I didn't need to show up. You guys didn't need me. And I actually think here's a really, really long bait. This is one of the longer baits. This almost isn't worth it. Azaraki's waiting in this bush, and explain to them what you're thinking.
I saw Volek go through. Yeah, I saw Volek go through that bush near the top of the tower, and I see him again right there, and I'm like, all right, he's gonna gank soon. And so I'm waiting. And I'm waiting.
You wait for like another 15, 20 seconds.
I really expect him to gank a little bit sooner, because they don't know I'm here. And that'll be clear in a little bit, and waiting. And eventually Braun just says, yeah, I don't think he's actually coming, just go ahead and farm the jungle up a bit. And I'm like, alright, so I'm going to farm the jungle, and right about now, Volek shows up to gank. So I'm like, alright, I'm on my way back.
We're going to pause in a minute here and make use of some of our new features. Alright, we're going to pause now. Okay, so, let's see. Control D. And yeah, we're going to make use of some of our new fun features. Oh my god, we have arrows. Okay, so as I have gone all John Madden, here's an arrow. This is the line at which Coggan has just landed his stun. And what you're about to see is Coggan is about to get a hook on this line. He's about to move up in towards the tower and pull them back in. Vex is down here. He's just shown up to the fight. So we're gonna, let's see,
Yeah, while he's doing that, first of all, it's not the best idea to be fighting if the only person in your lane is Mara, because early game Mara doesn't really have all that great damage. Well, for the most part, what she's usually worth is just a lot of poke with her geometry vines, and she's also got a snare that can help set up kills. But right here we see Volok is ready to start a team fight. He used his ultimate, which right now you can see that I am the only one who's sitting in his ultimate right now, but I'm also level 6, which is something really cool in a Kindra versus Volok matchup, because as Kindra, if you use your ultimate, you basically get immunity from his ultimate. He doesn't heal from it, and it's basically almost useless. And you can see already that Braun and Teradek, I call him Trent. Don't be surprised if I call him Trent a lot during this, but he's going to end up pulling them under tower, and throughout the entire time, Braun is going to stay clear of his ultimate, which is a good play and good positioning.
Alright, so let's restart in 3, 2, 1. So again, you see Volok pop his ultimate, the Kagen hook is going to come in, pulls them both back under tower. I pick up a double kill, and then we're able to just continuously zone down and just pummel Vex into the ground. And that was a matter of positioning. They had completely overcommitted there. I think our team, we rotated him for a Parasite, of which Azaraki will talk much about his hate of people who mess up Parasites.
Yeah, we have a specific clip of that later, but this is generally a good time to take Parasite. We took 3 kills, and one of them was their jungler, so we're not really in danger of anyone trying to Vanquish steal it, or just basically contest it all. And you can see that in the top lane, our team is keeping their team occupied, and if their team were to, if the 2 people from their top lane were to rotate down, we could instantly call a pinch. We could have Viana and Cerulean come down into that little space near the middle of the map, and the rest of us would come up, and we would get an easy 2-man pickup off of that, and we might have been able to burn the Parasite before they actually showed up as well, which if we could do that, that would be great. Otherwise, I don't think Parasite would regen fast enough, because we would have so many people, we could just burst them down so quickly.
Yeah. Also, early Parasites, keep in mind, they don't give the buff. Parasite at level 1 doesn't give the buff, it just gives Striders. So, yeah, and gold. But it doesn't give you that combat stat buff. So, always be aware of the fact that if you're going for a Parasite, you're using it for lane and pushing pressure. You're trying to make it harder for the enemy lanes to farm. And also, if you do that, push the wave into the tower. Don't try and stall the wave, because you're going to get more value out of the Strider being under the tower, dealing damage to it and forcing them to try and deal with a Strider. And farming under tower in Dawngate is a lot harder than it is in other games. It's harder to time things out, and you usually don't do enough damage at the early levels.
Yeah, at the early levels, in League of Legends, say, for a caster minion or for a weak backline minion, you can auto-attack it once, have the tower hit it, and then auto-attack it again, and that's basically a guaranteed last hit. That's not generally the same in Dawngate. Sometimes you're not going to have enough damage, so you can auto-attack it, the tower will hit it, you auto-attack it again, and it won't die sometimes. So generally, last hitting under tower is a bit harder in Dawngate than in most other games, as Braun has stated. So, and as you saw right there, even though Braun and his lane partner went back, since we had Striders, they weren't able to get any damage on our tower, which is good, because you saw Vex down there, he was farming the entire time. And he still wasn't able to get any tower damage, and that's mainly because we had Striders.
Yeah, also his farm wasn't that good. I don't know how far up on him I am. I think it was probably maybe about 10 or 15 farm up on him at this point. I check it periodically, but I don't really check it for long. So it's hard to tell, especially when I'm not thinking about it and I'm not in game. So right now our team's up about 3 kills. We've got good tower pressure, good damage in there. Easily seen. He walked right through my ward. That's why you always ward deep and always ward above near Parasite.
Wards win wars.
Wards do win wars. I think you make a play off this, but I'm almost positive they see you right now.
They might. Oh, this is the tower play, actually. This is the play that we take the tower, and Mara didn't back off.
Oh, is this Hook City? Is this Hook City number 2?
I don't think it's Hook City. I think it's just straight up turn on Mara, kill
her.
her.
Yeah, no. Mara thinks she can stand with us. Instant drain, pop out the final flight from Nissa, and I instantly pulled it back. That's something people forget to do. When you just throw that Nissa you can instantly recall it, and it'll do damage on the way back in. So the moment I, got it to connect with her, pulled it back, we picked up a pretty easy kill there. Oh, and this is a really good play over on Volok's power.
Yeah, way back, we actually saw Volok we saw, and you noted that he walked through one of our wards, and that's when we said wards win wars. So we knew he was down in that bottom area, and I figured, all right, he's going to take money pigs. I did not take those bottom money pigs yet, so he's definitely doing that. And after we make this tower play, I think, all right, we haven't seen him walk past that ward yet, so there's a really good chance that he's at our power buff, or their power buff. So I just run over to check it, and lo and behold, he's there, and we just collapse on him and pick up a free kill. And once again, Kindra Ultimate is very good at dodging Volek Ultimate.
Yeah, Volek is... People fear Volek a lot. He is very much a good shaper, but Volek is weak when you're not fighting him. If you're not in melee range of Volek, he doesn't do anything. He'll he'll pop his ultimate. If if you're Petrus, punch him away. Preferably not into one of your other teammates, but punch him away. If you're playing someone with a blink out of it. If you're playing pretty much any character who can keep him where he is and get away, do it, because the moment he's not hitting you, he stops healing, and your AD carry or your AP carry or one of your range characters can usually burn him down. And I think we get away here. We just sort of run away.
And the Blitz is always a great spell, and you see right there, even slows. Blitz is really good against slows as well, because Volek's slow is actually pretty debilitating. It's quite a long slow, and it's quite a big slow as well. So right here, I can give him a little bit of coverage as he farms this last wave, so no one's going to be jumping him, and if they do, I'll probably end up killing him, and he'll run away and somehow live inexplicably, which that's something like that happens a little bit later.
Yeah, I think, is it me? No, there's a clip within this game where just, the Great Escapes, and then we have another clip, later about, always following your carry as a support whenever they run off into the jungle. Always be aware of the wards, and always be aware of the positioning of your carry. I actually think you just duel down Vex, just, straight up.
With Mara there, yeah. At this point, I'm really fed as Kindra, which... You just don't want to fight a fed Kindra. They don't have enough lockdown for me is the biggest problem, so as soon as my ult wore off, I just kept running towards him and hitting him. There wasn't really anything they could do, because Mara's hard CC is a snare, which is still not a stun, so I can still use abilities and all that. So them fighting that engagement was really not the best decision on their parts.
It's also a snare with a very small hitbox. Basically consider it like a Thresh hook from League of Legends.
I'd say a Mumu bandage toss.
Or a Mumu bandage toss, or a clockwork hook from Dota 2. It's really that kind of an ability. You go straight to them, and the hitbox is really, really small. So that becomes difficult to get. Let's see. We'll pick up a tower. I'll call for the engagement. I think you guys killed them before I get there, though.
Well, I'm not in this fight, but I think they kill one of them. But then you run clean up anyway.
Before I get there. No, actually, we don't kill anyone. I just, I threw my ultimate out and I pulled it back way too early. Do we get her? Yeah, no, I pick up the kill. Yeah, no, I get that one. Volek shows up to be a Volek and try and be Gur, I'm scary. This I think might result in a couple of kills. I really wanted that haste buff.
Yeah, this is a two-way fight. So he's contesting the haste buff. We only see two of them, so it's a pretty good engagement. All right, Mara's here, but by the time she showed up, we were already a little bit far inward engaged. So right now everyone's getting taken low. One kill in that respect right there. You get wrecked. And then here's where the overextension begins, because they don't actually... I guess they didn't have me warded at all, but I came in through the bottom half of the fight and just started killing things. Volek gets greedy, once again, overextending and overstaying. He doesn't pick up the kill. Mara gets greedy, overextending and overstaying. She picks up the kill here, but at the same time she dies, and Fenmore gets away. He gets away under tower after this, but either way, it's still a really good example of overstaying. Especially, I don't know if they had me warded, because if they didn't have me warded, then that's a huge problem, because I ran through one of the critical junctures in their jungle, one that you should most definitely have warded. I mean, even we have it warded. As you can see, it's sort of near the bottom half of the middle of the map.
Yeah, right here. I've got my cursor over it on the map right now. It's basically that spot right there. There, and there are sort of the four big junctures towards the middle of the map. Ward spots for lanes are up here, here, and here. So you guys were following my cursor on the map.
So yeah, warding is definitely a critical aspect of the game, and again, words win wars, basically. If they'd have seen me coming, they would have definitely gotten out of there, or at least I would think they would. But instead, they ended up giving up a few kills that they really didn't need to. And on top of that, we saw Volok and Mara try to go back in for kills, and they only got one out of that, but they both gave up their lives. Also, you almost get caught. Well, you do get caught out here, but
I live, and I shouldn't live. This is among my many great escapes. I should not have lived here. Granted, we don't get anything off of it, but they use like 3 ultimates to try and kill me, and I just sort of walk away from it and keep on farming because Nissa's not even supposed to be the most escapable AD shaper. That's really Varion, to be honest. Let's see. Vex is going to get jumped here. He just goes down easily. I think we'll follow it up with a kill on Tamara. It takes a little while, though. Yeah,
I think we just clean this entire
Yeah,
fight.
you're right. Yeah, I think we just we steamroll right through here. You'll pick up one of the kills? Do you get the... No, I get that one, and then
wow, kill stealing.
I get that one. And then I don't get the last one, but I got 2 of those. And now is a perfect time to Parasite because all of them are down.
Yeah, it's basically impossible to contest Para while you're dead. If they make a Shaper that can contest Parasite while he's dead, that will probably be the bane of my existence, and I will hate it forever. But until then, we can
only thing it's good for.
We can safely take Paras while everyone's dead. And this will once again give us more pushing pressure. And one thing that a lot of people say, which kind of annoys me, is that, no, don't take Para, it gives them free gold because you spawn Striders. That's only true if you spend the rest of your time messing around saying, alright, we took Para, let's sit in our base or farm our own jungle for the next 5 minutes or something like that.
Or if you're at a late game point at which, or if you're at a late game point, not where everyone's full items, but where they have enough wave clear, then it can, then it can be bad, but at that point, you should be using the combat stats you just got off of Para to pick fights.
Yeah, I mean, either way, Para will always be useful if you utilize it correctly. And a lot of people don't really utilize it correctly.
I think this is Hook City. I think it's Hook City 2.0. Just instantly pulled back in. I think Vex got out of there. Who died? No, we grabbed both their carries actually. No, Salus. Yeah. Vex made it out. So Salus and Fenmore.
We got Vex and Fenmore actually. Mara and whoever their other person was. Was it Salus?
Someone got away. Either way, yeah. No, actually, no, we got 4. So, yeah, we got everybody, even though it looked like one of them got away. That was Mara just basically walking in there and thinking she could clear the wave. Mara has no wave clear. Unless you're building a lot of damage on Mara, Mara really, really has no wave clear. It's not a smart idea to stand under towers her. She's really a better jungler than a lane support, in my opinion. I think she does more coming out of the jungle. She can snare up and just be in the way, but in the lane, where she has to sit around for a while, she's got some harass, but it's not enough really to clear waves. She can't defend towers on her own,
I actually like her in lane, but first of all, you have to make sure that you're not playing in this sort of way where she's been doing this thing where she thinks towers are a 100% protection, which is certainly not true. Like, we can tower dive at this point, no problem. And we're 27-8. I think we can take a tower.
I mean, you guys just picked up 4 more kills while I was off farming, so,
Yeah.
5 more kills? Yeah, no, you guys, they aced them 4v5 while I'm pushing waves.
Yeah, I don't know how I got out of this one as well, because the entire time I was pretty low on health, and I guess Cerulean is as well, so... That entire fight was just us basically just showing how far ahead we were. There's really not much more to it. And when you're this far ahead, or when you're that far behind, something that their team should do is they should really stop trying to force fights. At this point in the game, you want to make sure that you stay close enough to Parasite so that you can rely on his damage to help you win your fight. Because as you can see, they still have both of their back cores up, and I believe that's Bubble Core
and Laser Core.
Bubble Core and Laser Core, yeah. So Laser Core does a ton of damage, and Bubble Core is free CC, so if you have any abilities that can keep them in those, then that's really good, and it'll do a lot of damage, and it'll help you turtle games out. But, however, this team, instead of rebounding, they're just sort of still trying to fight us 5v5, which is certainly not the best idea, especially when we have the Parasite power buff.
Yep, so team's gonna farm out. At this point, the game's pretty much over. I think there's maybe one more fight. Maybe. Yeah, no, yeah, there's at least one more fight. So
Yeah, there's the whole tower diving montage, whatever that goes on.
No, it's not even the tower diving montage.
Or fountain diving, right?
Yeah, no, it's this. It's this right here. So here's another example of things I should not get away with, but happen to. So Nara's gonna dive on top of me. She's closing the gap. She's gonna slow me down. I've already popped my blitz. I'm gonna keep on hitting her and getting her low. Now, normally it'd be smart for me to back off. It was probably pretty smart for me to back off. Mara's gonna come in, ult, and snare me. I'm gonna keep hitting them and keep hitting them, and the rest of my team shows up. And the only reason that was a bad idea for them was because Mara was already so low. Mara's ultimate, I think, is more effective for her when she's at full health. She's basically just a regen bot at that point. And, you know, granted, the rest of my team did show up, and I don't know whether or not I could have handled the full fight on my own, but Mara shouldn't have gone back in there to try and kill me. Because even, you know, yes, it was a fairly open risk, and the only reason it worked is because I'd recently bought my Veracity, which gave me a huge amount of extra haste. That plus the power boost off my Justice kept me alive. But at that point, where they'd already committed so much and Mara was so low, it wasn't worth staying for the fight.
Tower or Fountain Dive City, here we go. There's like 3 or 4 of these, I actually think.
Yeah, no, there's like 3 or 4 fountain dives where like I'm really, really low and they want to kill me. And you can
really
see
wanna
both
kill
their
you.
takes, like both their takes are like, but, and you know, Mara will go down again. At this
One
point,
of them step out and die.
I don't know who does it. Who? No.
That
You guys
wasn't
just
even
kill. You
stepping
guys
out.
just
Yeah,
kill
we
him on the
just-
fountain.
We just killed him straight up there. All right.
And,
So
yeah, now Cerulean's picking up his kills, and that winds up being GG. So hopefully that was a good lesson in overcommitting, and also they probably weren't warding. They probably didn't see our team showing up. And the only reason I went into the full end screen for this
is to make me hate him.
is to make him hate me a little bit. So yeah, that's sort of what that game was trying, you know, what we wanted you guys to get out of that game. Always be aware of your warding, because when you overcommit, you know, it results in bad things happening. Especially against a team that's ahead of you. Me and Azza both went, you know, 1 death. I went 13-1 and 11. He went 11-1 and 18. And just to show you that it is possible, all you have to do is #believe. Take that 467 out of that 223, an extra 100 off a first win of day, and there's a divine.
And, you know, I've gotten a fair share of divines. I've gotten 7 so far. But you know what I don't get? You don't click this fast enough. Like, you made me mistime this, by the way. It's all your fault.
I was enjoying it.
I don't get shapers. I always get the spirit stones, but I don't get shapers.
Let's pause it at 18-12, or 20-12.
Alright, yep, I'm there.
Alright, now we're going to move past our full match, and we're going to go into Adventures in Solo Queue, where I will make a lot more use of my drawing.
Now, 2 things I want to mention. First of all, if any of you have any questions, once again, feel free to ask them in chat. We read chat. Like, I can see right now that no one said anything in chat, which is actually a really big difference from last week. But
last week everyone was raging.
Yeah, it was. I think it was mostly Glorified as well.
Yeah, it was mostly
Glorified was like, nah, you guys are wrong. It actually does this exact amount of haste instead of this other exact amount of haste or something like that. Really nitpicky things that he just knows off the top of his head. But and second, again, I swear we're not narcissists. Like, this, we need clips from you guys. We want to show clips from other people, but no one actually sent any clips in, so we're using ours again. And like the whole point of the show is for us to teach you guys how to get better at Dawngate, how to play, you just improve your game. So if there's anything that you guys need to improve, or if you say, wow, I see a lot of people do really well with the Shaper, but I just can't seem to go 10-0 or something like that, then, you know, just record a clip of you playing that Shaper, send it in, and we will analyze it. And Right now, your chances of getting on the show are basically 100%, seeing as there are no other submissions so far. So get on that, and you'll be on the show.
All right, so let's move into these. So here we're gonna see a first blood. I have no use for my masterful arrow drawing, so we're just gonna go through it. This is another example of overcommitting and getting away. That's sort of the theme of this episode, is what happens when people overcommit. What are the different consequences? Can you get out alive? Can you not get out alive? So here we're gonna see. I'm playing Mina in this match. They're going to go all in to try and kill me. Everything they can possibly do. And this is what's going to happen. So, start the clip. I forgot the 3, 2, 1. Sorry, Aza.
Wow. So wait. What now? Are you going?
We're at 28-23.
Oh my god, 23?
28-23.
Is that when everything starts, or did stuff
That's where
already
I've stopped.
Okay. 28, 23, 1, 2. Alright, so far we can already talk about stuff. First of all, Mara is really good at baiting, kiting, and
Mina.
Mina. Yes.
Not
Mina.
Mara.
Mara's the other one. Why did they do that, by the way?
Mara and Mina?
Like, just to confuse me?
Probably. Who knows?
It's like, for the longest time, I switched up Zac and Zed from League of Legends, and those are actually really different. Just the first letter is the same. But that still screwed me up, and they're expecting me to get Mara and Mina down? I mean, come on.
It's okay. So anyways, I've taken a ton of damage, and their Mina did a really good job of countering my disruption. So 3, 2, 1, start. So as you can see, I'm really low. They pop the drain, and I get away. I popped 2 potions and was able to heal through the whole thing. That's going to result in a first blood, and we'll stop in 3, 2, 1. So that was their forest going way too deep. He thought the drain would be enough. He thought the extra basic attack would be enough. Over the course of that entire fight, I was constantly running potions. So there's the value in potions.
Keep in mind that this is a level 2/level 3 engagement, so potions can almost heal up as much as Drain does, actually. And you saw right there that the Drain wasn't enough to kill him because he was running the potions. And at those early levels where people have 600 or 700 health, a potion really ends up taking up quite a bit of that health and healing through it. And one thing that the other team managed to neglect was that the entire time Nisa was hitting them, which, is obviously something you never want. That's the AD carry, and Nisa also still has quite a bit of early game damage, and I guess they just weren't expecting that. So a little bit of tunnel vision and, like you said, overcommitting as well.
Yep. All right, now we're going to move into clip 2. Are you at 28-38?
Yes.
Cool. All right, so here's an example of a dive gone wrong. This should have been a perfect setup dive, and I'm going to pause it at this one moment to explain.
Did you already start it?
No, I haven't.
Okay, good.
But I'll pause it at this one moment that'll, I realized that when I watched the clip over, I was trying to figure out why Varion's going to ult, and he's going to miss, and we're going to see why. Let's start the clip in 3, 2, 1. And I'll tell you when we're going to stop. We're going to stop right as my ultimate's going down. I'm playing Renzo in this game. Wanted to play something other than Mina. So 3,
Renzo,
3,
friend
2,
to all
1,
children.
stop. Alright, so this isn't...
I stopped at the perfect moment. I don't know about you.
I'm stopped at the perfect moment. So here we're going to make use of our friend called the arrow. This is the center of Renzo's ultimate. As you can see, pivoting around the center of the ultimate, I'm standing right here. So if this is center, I wanted him to be here. I am here. What that results in is that the ultimate that Varion is about to fire is gonna miss based on the tiniest fraction.
I actually have it on the frame where he is missing.
Oh, you have it on the frame where he's missing. So you guys are about to see him miss. And it's just so devastating. Granted, again, this was really, really minuscule, and this play should have worked. But we started diving, And Varian is here. He's already taking tower shots. So he took a free tower shot. We're not able to follow this up, and Calm's actually going to get away. So we're going to start
Way to spoil it, Braun.
Yeah. We're going to start in 3, 2, 1. And there's the miss. And it's just so devastating. And granted, part of the problem was that Varian took an extra shot. This clip's actually going to continue. This extends into another engagement, so we're just going to talk for a little bit. Varian took an early shot, which he shouldn't have done until after he got the knock-up. That way I was tanking tower. So here's another example of when overcommitting isn't worth it. In this game, our jungler, the Forest, he's already picked up 2 of our 3 kills. He's about to be on a killing spree. And he's going to jump back in, picks up the kill on Mara, gets the killing spree, and then gives up the kill. Yeah. Let's stop in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, completely an at what cost moment. He shouldn't have stopped. It wasn't worth him to go in for that.
Yeah, one thing I always tell, back when I had a pseudo League of Legends team with my friends, one thing I always harped on about is that 1v1 trades are hardly ever worth it. And that's not true. 1v1 trades are worth it just as many times as they're not. But it's usually better to keep in your mind that 1v1 trades are not worth it. Part of the reason is because half of the time you won't actually get that 1 kill. And Faris, he had his ultimate there. If he didn't have his ultimate, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have been able to get that kill.
No, definitely not.
But in this case, it wasn't quite worth it because, as you can see, TheSource's team is ahead. And unfortunately, what this did is it was 1-for-1 trade, but it brought them a little bit closer. When you're ahead, you want to make sure that you don't let the enemy back into the game, and each kill really helps solidify that. So, especially when the kill is on Ferris, who was already ahead, but he gave up his killing spree. So, there's that sort of back and forth that we have.
The other thing is it was a 1-for-1, and then the enemy team got 2 assists, and that extra Vim in this situation, gold in most other situations, that's not worth it. Don't give up a kill for a kill if it's going to result in 2 assists. That's just more gold that, wouldn't have been there otherwise. Which clip is this? I think this is a get out of jail free clip. Yeah, this is the last clip from this game. I actually wound up having lag issues, and you'll see those towards the end of the clip. So we are... we're going to pick up a couple of kills here, but you're going to see some very, very insane escape. So right now, instantly, my carry runs off into the jungle. Gotta follow your carry, always. So it looks like we're going to pick up the kill onto the Salus. He starts running off to the side. My team sticks around to deal with the Mina and the Forest, and I decide I'm going to chase after the Salus. And I'm still chasing. And I am still chasing. And I can't catch him. And let's stop in 3, 2, 1. That's just depressing.
Well, first of all, on the bright side, and one thing that makes this a not super overstay play or anything like that, is that he knew that the rest of his team could pick up the other 2 kills, and they did, because the enemy team was out of cooldowns, they were CC'd, and Forest. Those are the 3 reasons why the rest of his team could have picked up those extra kills. Forest is super mobile, so you don't really have to worry about him picking up those kills. So that's really all there is to say about that play.
Yep. All right, now we're
Give me a countdown this time, by the way.
All right, so let's restart in 3, 2, 1. All right, now we're...
Oh, I remember this one.
Yeah, so this one... This is an interesting play. So, meanwhile, off in the jungle, I'm actually going to pause in 3, 2, 1. So, you saw the kill right up here. Off here in the jungle, there's a little bit of a skirmish going on. Astrobel and Faris are off killing people. I'm being chased out by the Calm, and I think it's their Miquella? Yeah, I'm being chased out by their King of Mass and their Miquella. I'm going to keep running up, and they're going to keep chasing me, and this is going to slowly turn from a first pickup to a bunch of kills, to us staying way, way too long. So let's restart the clip in 3, 2, 1. So here you see, I'm still being chased. I'm going to eventually turn around as they're going to back up to go into the jungle, and we pick up another kill. At this point, I'd be like, hey guys, that's great. We picked up 2 kills. We're going to steal away a buff. We should probably back out. Ashabal flashes away. Rain is taking a bunch of damage. And then Forest goes in and it's like, cool, we got another kill. We should probably back away. And Reyna's like, nah, bro, I got this. And it's just, why did we stay so long? This is going to result in the ultimate comes out, I block it. And then kill, flash. We pick up 3, but it went from 3 for 0 to 3 for 2. And let's stop in 3, 2, 1. And jump to 31, 55.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, we'll jump to 31.55.
Alright, I'm there.
Alright, yeah, and that was just overcommitting. Overcommitting 101.
Yeah, and one of the biggest parts about that is that you're in between 2 enemy towers, and you're fighting in a choke point. That's really bad. There's only one possible way you could actually take to get out of there if you needed to, and one member of their team was already wrapping around anyway, so that was largely just, as you said, more overstaying. That happens way too much. You guys gotta stop being so aggro. I've noticed this a lot in a lot of the games I play.
Yeah. Alright, so we'll start up the next clip. This is a little bit less of overstaying and more of bad vision. If you guys take a look, we've got a ward way down here, which we see Petra's taking money pigs, and we've got a ward here. Even if both 2 of those wards were being used by, I think mine is up, so I scrubbed it up here a little bit. Granted, I think I ward at some point. Either way, even if these 2 had warded, I still have mine. Our team wasn't warding enough in general. So we're going to start the clip in 3, 2, 1. And as you see, it looks fairly easy. You know, even now, Forest has got his ward. Maybe. There should at least be 2 wards here. I still haven't warded. Forest hasn't put his down. You know, and right now, we don't have really good vision.
In that one critical juncture we talked about before.
Yeah. So I'm going to step up, take a little bit of damage, back away. Our Forest is dueling their jungler. And right now, we're starting to get picked off. Varion's going to back up. Reyna's going to go a little bit too deep.
Varion's standing still.
Yeah, Varion should have backed away and kept kiting. We'll pick up a kill. Okay, so now we're 2 for 1. That's not particularly great. Now, Reyna's going to get caught. She stayed too long. There was another jump over the wall, and we still didn't have vision in this small juncture down here where my cursor is. I'm going to die. Just because I stuck around too long. They dive me X, Y, or Z. They're gonna dive me here. I'm gonna get picked up, and although Ashabal lives, she lives with very little health. She isn't able to protect that tower at all and do anything to stop that. They're gonna pick up 4 kills in a tower off of 1 team fight.
Yeah, that's something you never want to do. And as you said, that whole re-engagement, it basically happened because there were no wards in that one juncture. So Petrus jumped in, landed a stun, and I forgot who else it was, but someone else jumped in, landed a stun. Mara. Alright, so Mara jumped in, landed a stun as well, so like you said. And one thing that still annoys me about that play is that the entire time Varion was trying to duel Fenmore, he was standing still. Varion is probably one of the kitiest AD carries in the game, because he has a blink. He has a blink on one of his abilities. I think he's the only...
Progress Gate.
Yeah, Progress Gate. He's the only AD carry who has a blink. Michaela has a dash, which is almost as good.
But doesn't go through walls.
But doesn't go through walls, and I think you can still be interrupted mid-dash if someone times something really well.
Yeah, a stun, things like a Renzo stun can chase you and still hit you.
Yeah, so he really should have been doing something to dodge the skill shot that Fenmore has, and that would have kept him alive long enough to do more damage to win the fight.
Alright, so make sure you've jumped to 3420.
Yep, I'm there.
And actually, guys, this is our last clip. Show's running a little bit shorter than it did last week. But yeah, this is our last clip.
That's okay. You guys will be able to watch Game of Thrones as well.
Yeah, no, I bet everyone's like, Game of Thrones, man. Shut up. I gotta go watch Game of Thrones. I need to go watch Game of Thrones. Either way, so here's a clip. Here's a clip that I miraculously was able to get, which Azaraki has been pestering for a little while, and this is a subject that bugs him a lot.
When he says a lot, he means a lot.
This really, really bugs him. If you guys get good clips of this and can record them, send them in. He'll have a field day with them. This is a parasite fight. This is an example of the value of parasite and when it's good to take and when it's not good to take. So this is a fairly long clip. We'll talk through it. Let's start in 3, 2, 1. So here, me and Ashabel have pushed up. We're looking to pick off kills. We've just pushed into their base, and we've done a lot of damage to them. We're gonna get caught, like, really badly. Ashabel instantly blinks away. I'm gonna pop out my ultimate. Doesn't do anything. He backed up. I'm trying to body block and just continuously tank. Instantly, flash forward. Fenmore starts doing all of his damage. He's gonna pop his ultimate, and now I'm dead. Now Ashabel's dead. I'm stuck. I'm not getting out of there. I'm dead. Reyna's able to back up. She's able to back up and get away. Now we have 2 people down for 50 seconds. Normally, you'd say, hey, this is a great time to parasite. Beautiful time to parasite. We took both their jungler and one of their mages down to about half health. They were pretty low. And now they're chasing, jumping in and off of Parasite. Parasite does a lot of damage. Granted, I have my item selection screen up here, so scrubbing it up a little bit. Look how low Parasite is. Look how much Reyna has delayed them. Our AD carry has shown up. He was dead during the start of this fight. He's going to blink forward. Instantly, they go in, pick up 2 kills, and take away the Parasite. Then they pick up another kill. Stasis from Varion. Follow up from Forest. They're going to chase her all the way out, and they're going to pick up a kill. That is an ace for basically 1 death. The 2 of us were already dead beforehand, me and Ashabel. They basically just sacrificed Reyna, picked up an ace, and the Parasite. And,
nice pull-up. Wait, let me backspace. Nice pay.
Yeah, nice pay. Yeah, so we'll have Azza talk about that one a little bit. I'm actually probably going to play the clip again while he goes over it for a second time.
Alright, now here we go with Parafights. First of all, let's look at the 3 people who were still alive during that Parasite for the Sources team. Varion, Ferris, and Reyna. Reyna is a hardcore disruptor, and we saw her throughout the fight just jumping in and out, stunning back, slowing, doing everything she can to just be as annoying as possible and CC people. And we also have Ferris and Varion, 2 extremely high damage shapers. So, first of all, the entire time Parasite is hitting the team that's taking it, which, as you already said, Parasite does a lot of damage, and a lot of people really underestimate that because I guess they're used to Baron in League of Legends, which does significantly less damage. But that's one of the big problems with taking Parasite when too many of the enemy team is up. Secondly, here's one of the big positioning dilemmas with Para. Alright, so you're taking Para, you have a tank on your team, everything's cool. Now, the other team goes to contest. Hypothetically, let's say your tank goes to disrupt the enemy team and make sure they can't get close to Para. That means that, and Para aggroes the closest person to it. So that means that your tank is no longer the closest person to Para. So Para's now hitting one of your squishies, or one of your bruisers, or someone that you generally need to be at a decent amount of health. That's bad, because say, for instance, I don't know who was on their team, say Mikala was tanking Parasite for a little bit, then she's going to have to worry about her positioning a lot more just because she took that free damage. Alternatively, if you keep your tank near Para and have your tank Para, then the enemy team isn't disrupted and they can run in and poke at you, do as much damage as they want. And you can sort of see this in this fight as well. Everyone sort of peeled off of Para and it started attacking squishies. Mara was trying to disrupt, and she's one of the main tanks of the opposing team. That's never something you want to have happen. So on the other hand, like I said before, if you have your tank focus on Para and tank Para, then your squishies will get killed by the enemy team that's trying to contest it. So either way, your squishies are going to get poked down if you're in one of these extended Para fights. And also this was just a really good steal by Ferris as well. Or was it Varion? I think it was actually Varion's ultimate that got it, wasn't it?
We'll see in a minute. So I've brought us back to right before the steal. Look at the arrows and the circles, because we have arrows and circles. But actually, the positioning here, the two of them are really close together. One thing you want to think about with Parasite is you don't ever really want to be close. This AoE he does here does consistent damage. It also lays in a mortal wound, makes it harder to heal. Cuts your healing, regen, lifesteal all in half. So they're not doing very well here in this situation. Varion's just blinked over the King of Masks damage. Petrus is dead. So the person tanking it right now is their King of Masks way over here. Or, is that King of Masks or Michaela? I think it's a King of Masks. Their King of Masks is currently about to pull aggro, as their Mara is really low. Their, I think it's their Mara and their Fenmore. Yeah, their Mara and their Fenmore. Both really, really low. This arrow here indicates the line at which Faris is going to throw his Q. That's going to kill one and lower Mara. Then Varion is going to come in and just blow Mara away. So we'll start, so I'm just going to restart the clip. Instantly blown away. And I think it was a smite. I think it was a smite steal.
Right, because Ferris would have been jungling.
Yeah, Ferris was jungling. I think it was a Vanquish steal. And yes, again, my nice pay, because I can't...
Yep, it was
I clearly can't type. Another kill gets picked up. Boom goes the dynamite, and there is your example of when you shouldn't para. Don't para if you're going to peel off of Parasite twice, and all of the damage dealers from a team are back. Or at least the assassin and the AD carrier are around.
One other thing I just thought of is that, look at the sort of Parasite cove that it's in. When you think of Baron Cove, it's actually a possibility to say, alright, ignore them, keep focusing Baron in League of Legends. Because you're fighting in this cove, and if the enemy team wants to contest, they're going to have to run through a very narrow choke point. This is quite the opposite. So if the team wants to say, alright, just focus Para, then you're getting hit from all angles with a lot of poke, especially from Varion, who's, like, again, the AD carry, and Faris, who is the assassin. So those are a lot of high damage players. And having an open pit like this really just makes it harder to take Para safely without worrying about being contested for it.
Yeah, and as you guys can see, I've thrown in some extra arrows. It's an open area. There's no back end for you to protect yourself from. There are the little bits of wall, but that's really not enough. You essentially have, these two half moons of space to enter from. It's actually a pretty good pause, as both of them are about to throw out their death-dealing skills. You're
having a lot of fun with those arrows.
I'm having so much fun with my arrows. I'm so glad I figured out how to set this up. But yeah, actually no, it was their Michaela who was tanking. Is it?
Which is also really
yeah,
bad.
It's their Michaela. So their Michaela has just pulled aggro right here. Is there Michaela? You can see the little tassels on her cloak. Here you have Fenmore, and here is Mara. So their Michaela is just about to pull aggro. The aggro was actually on their Fenmore. He was the one currently tanking. It wasn't Mara, which is a problem for them.
Because it cuts down his healing.
Exactly, and he's a heal tank. He's a heal, sustain, Swain, taste the rainbow, taste the Swainbow nonsense. It's basically what his deal is. From a completely different game, he makes you taste the Swainbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have anything, any last stuff to say?
No. I wanna. Yeah, I think that's all the clips we have so far.
Cool. So again, send in clips. As much as we like hyping ourselves up and saying, "Hey, look at how awesome we are at Dawngate," The biggest goal of this show is to help you guys out and make sure that we can help you learn how to play a specific shaper or learn how to play in a certain situation. Like before, we had a clip of how to deal with jungle invades, and we were able to talk through that as well, and that was last week. So if you guys have any sort of play that you want analyzed and say, all right, how can I fight this, or how can I play this better, something like that, feel free to send clips in. And as I said before during this episode, we haven't gotten any clips yet, so it's basically 100% chance to make it in to the show.
Yeah. You know, as much as I love, you know, showing you guys exactly how bad I am at typing in the middle of team fights, as you guys can see when the game pauses, my nice pay because I couldn't add an L. We want to get clips from you guys. So thanks for watching, guys. We will see you next week. We'll be putting up another Reddit post for clip submissions. If you guys don't check Reddit a lot, the clip submission email is. Do you want to put that into the chat? Oh yeah, those are our Twitters, so you guys can find it when we're doing other Dawngate related things as well as the show. We'll be back 5 p.m. on next Sunday, and there's the email of the email for you guys to submit clips. Send us clips. If you guys aren't streamers, go find OBS. You can use it to locally record onto your PC if you've got a good enough one. Zip it up, send it to our emails, and we'll talk about it. We'll throw it on the show. If you've got some awesome pentakill, some insane escape, some great parasite steals, as we clearly saw, give us everything you guys have got.
Also, if you don't want to bother about that streaming stuff at all, you can even just write an email, send a letter, basically. Except don't physically send a letter, because that's really burdening.
No one uses snail mail.
Yeah, but just send us an email outlining, hey, at what cost people, this happened to me, and I want to know how to do better at it.
Yeah, send us questions, and we'll do our best to try and recreate some scenarios. If we can, we'll get some people together, play some custom games, and try and set up similar team comps. And a lot of situations you'll run into again. You run into continuously. So yeah, we just want to give you guys as much information as we can. So on that, I'm TheSource.
I'm Azaraki. I didn't know you passed it to me.
Yeah, I passed it to you. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you guys next week.